I can relate to all of these fears because my identity was so wrapped up in this sense of resilience, or what I thought was resilience. Observing life, just being an outsider, caught up in the busyness, yet not enjoying. I know how it is to feel like it's just a struggle to get up, and you feel like life has become monotonous. It's 6 a.m. Your alarm hasn't even gone off yet, but you're already awake, already running. Your brain is 3 steps ahead of your body, scanning the day, organizing the chaos, preparing for everything everyone is going to need from you before the sun goes down. And somewhere between coffee and car keys, there's a thought, a quiet one you don't let yourself sit with for too long. I'm tired. But you push it down because tired is not an option. Tired doesn't get the kids to school. Tired doesn't hit the deadline. Tired doesn't hold the ministry together. Tired doesn't take care of your mother, your marriage, your team, your household, your everyone. So you keep going. Now, let me ask you something, and I need you to be honest with yourself. Why does the thought of slowing down feel more terrifying to you than the burnout that's already eating you alive? Hello, let me say that again. Why does the thought of slowing down feel more terrifying to you than the burnout that's already eating you alive? You know you're burning out. You can feel it. Your body is telling you, your spirit is telling you. But the thought of actually stopping or pulling back or pressing pause, that feels worse. That feels dangerous. And today, I want to talk about why. Because until we name what's underneath that fear, sis, you're going to keep circling. And everything you're looking for, your peace, your joy, your purpose, your life, is below the circle, waiting. If this is your first time here, welcome to Below the Circle. I'm Dr. Phyllis, and I'm your co pilot. This is the podcast for women who have been circling on autopilot, holding everything, performing strength, and is ready to stop circling and start living. I'm not here as someone above you, I'm beside you. I've sat in the same seat you're sitting in. I've gripped the same controls and I landed. That's why I'm here, to help you land too. And if you've been here before, welcome back. I'm glad you're in this cockpit with me. Let's go. So, sis, let's get honest. Why is slowing down so terrifying? I've coached women through this moment, the moment when they know something has to change, but they cannot make themselves stop. And here's what I've found underneath that fear. See if it sounds familiar. Fear number one: if I slow down, I'll lose who I am. If I slow down, I'll lose who I am. You've been going so hard for so long that your doing has become your identity. You are the strong one, the capable one, the one who handles it, the one who never drops the ball. And if you stop, who are you? That question terrifies you because you've been so busy being everything for everyone that you haven't checked in with yourself in years, maybe decades. And somewhere deep down, you're afraid that if you slow down and get quiet, you won't find anyone there. But that's not the truth, sis. But I understand why it feels that way. Fear number two: if I slow down, I'll be replaced. If you step back at work, at church, in the family, someone else will step in. And if someone else can do it, were you ever really needed? This fear is sneaky because it disguises itself as responsibility. You tell yourself nobody else can do this. But what you really are saying is if someone else can do this, what does it say about me? Fear number three: if I slow down, I'm not resilient enough. Whoa, that was a big problem for me. Let me say that one again. If I slow down, I'm not resilient enough. Wow. You've built your whole identity around your ability to absorb turbulence, to take the hit, to keep flying no matter how bad the storm gets. And in your mind, slowing down equals weakness. It means the turbulence won. It means you weren't strong enough. But I need you to hear me, sis. Absorbing everything is not resilience. Absorbing everything is not resilience. Absorbing everything is not resilience. It's not. It's survival. I got I just have to say that one again. Absorbing everything is not resilience. It's surviving. And there's a difference. Fear number four: if I stop, everything will fall apart. You see yourself as the glue, the one holding it all together: the job, the family, the friendships, the ministry. If you take your hands off the controls, even for a moment, the whole plane goes down, right? So you grip tighter, you fly harder, you circle faster, and you never ask the question that might set you free: what if it doesn't fall apart? And what if things that do fall weren't yours to hold? Hmm. What if the things that do fall weren't yours to hold? Fear number five: I don't know even how to slow down, and I don't have time. This one's the most honest. You've been circling so long, that's all you know. The motion is your normal. Stopping feels foreign, uncomfortable, like the ground is unfamiliar territory. And on top of that, your schedule is real. Your responsibilities are real. The people who need you aren't going to stop needing you because you've decided to pause. Hmm, I hear you. I do. But I also need you to hear me because I need to tell you, you don't have time not to slow down. You don't have time not to slow down because the path you are on, hmm, it has an end and it's not the one you want. Wow. How many people do you know of that just have meltdowns? They just stop, they just crash. It's not the end that you want, sis. As I shared with you, I can relate to all of these fears because my identity was so wrapped up in the sense of resilience or what I thought was resilience, observing, absorbing, observing life, just being an outsider, caught up in the busyness, yet not enjoying. And I know how it is to feel like it's just a struggle to get up, and you feel like life has become monotonous. I know from my own experience how it feels to feel that you're emotionally depleted, you're spiritually depleted, physically depleted to the point that your armor is starting to show wear and tear. It's starting to have cracks in it. It's no longer bulletproof. Things are just hitting you from all directions. And as I've shared, life hit the fan for me in 2020 after at least a year, if not more, that God had been trying to get my attention to slow it down, to land. I could sense something was off, but I kept pushing. I kept chasing for the next role and responsibility because I was searching for something on the outside to fill a void on the inside. And in some ways in 2020, because as I said, life hit the fan, I did make some changes. Yet, as I think more, what really got my attention is when my mom passed away in 2021. And I can just remember having that conversation with her. Really, she was having a conversation with me, and I didn't really want to hear it because she was I when I say I didn't want to hear it because little by little she was passing the baton to me. I was pushing, trying to fix her, trying to get her better. We were going to plan her 90th birthday party. You know, she's bigger than life. We got this. This is just a new normal. But yet she knew and she was trying to pass the oversight of her business, her personal affairs to me, giving me directives on what needed to be done. And then it transitioned to I could see her going through life review. And my mom was everything to everybody. To this day, people talk about how wonderful she was. And she was my human rock, my biggest cheerleader. I did the things I could do because I knew she was in my corner. She told me that I was all that. And one day before she really started going down, she just out of the blue, she said, "You know, maybe I should have traveled more." And while I didn't totally know what to do with that, it really pierced my heart because my mom had, when she was younger, she had traveled to China to do presentations. She had been on family reunions where we did cruises. She would go to Texas and visit family. She was the one who always could be counted on to go for all major graduations and weddings and everything. But yet, while she didn't regret that, while that was rewarding to her, what I think she was saying, and even how I feel like God was speaking through her own life review to me, was that she was questioning, was there more she should have done for herself to make her feel like she was alive? And it caught my attention, sis, because I realized after God had to he had to make me land. I'm just being honest. He had to basically stop that autopilot circling and say, "Phyllis, you're not getting it. So I'm just gonna, I'm going, I'm gonna do it for you." But that really made me realize just how fragile life is. And as she passed that nugget of wisdom baton to me, it became a question to myself. How was I living my life? And that putting off till tomorrow to disengage from autopilot and start living was a myth, a narrative, a false belief that I couldn't afford to continue to follow. And that's has become the fuel for my passion to help women like you, sis, not make some of the same mistakes, but also to be able to disengage from autopilot and to walk side by side with you through your descent. Because the descent's not a negative thing, it's a part of the transformation, it's the part of the journey, it's a part of reconnecting with who you are, so that when you have to lift up again or lift off again, because life happens, life events happen, changes happen, and you're going to have to take off again and lift off, take off. But I want to empower you to be able to take off, lift off, and navigate your skies, your plane with a new vision, a new navigational system, a new way of proceeding so you don't get stuck in silence, circling. So that just lets you know where my heart, because you are important. Not what you do, not what you carry, not what you hold together, not your title, not your output, your availability, or your ability to absorb pain without flinching. You, the woman underneath all of that, she is important. And here's what I've discovered, sis. On the other side of my own landing, slowing down doesn't mean you accomplish less. It means you accomplish differently. When you come out of the constant circling, when you give yourself permission to pause even briefly, something shifts. Your perspective changes. You start seeing things you couldn't see at the higher altitude. You start making decisions from clarity instead of chaos, from purpose instead of panic, from presence instead of performance. You get more done, but it's the right things, the things that actually matter, the things aligned with who you are and who you are created to be. And here's the part that changes everything: you can have both. You can be the woman who leads, who serves, who loves her family fiercely, who shows up powerfully in the world, and be the woman who is rested, present, joyful, alive, connected to herself, and connected to God. You don't have to choose between being purposeful and being present. You were designed for both. I love what Jeremiah 29:11 says, one of my favorite scriptures. I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future. Did you catch that? He has the plans, not you. He is the air traffic controller. Remember? He sees the full airspace. He sees your whole flight plan. And his plans are not for you to circle until you collapse. His plans are for you to prosper emotionally, spiritually, and physically. But you can't receive that at 30,000 feet with your hands locked on the controls. What is for you will not pass you. It won't be replaced. It won't disappear because you took a breath. God has your back. He's not asking you to abandon your life. He's asking you to land in it. The life you want, the peace, the joy, the purpose, the connection, the feeling of being alive instead of just getting through, it's not above you. It's not ahead of you. It's below the circle. It's below the circle. So here's what I want you to sit with this week. Not a homework assignment, not one more thing on your list, just this. The next time you feel that pull to keep going, keep pushing, keep circling, I want you to pause for 3 seconds, just three, and ask yourself, am I flying right now? Or am I just afraid to land? That's it. You don't have to answer it. You don't have to do anything about it. Just notice. Because awareness is the beginning of the descent. And you don't have to come down all at once. You just have to be willing to look down. Now, next week, episode 139, I'm going to ask you a question that might shake something loose. Are you chasing something or are you running from something? Are you chasing something or are you running from something? That one's going to hit different. So make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. And if this episode spoke to you, if you heard yourself in any of those 5 fears, I want you to share it with the woman in your life who needs to hear this. You know who she is. She's the one who's always fine. Send her this episode. She might not be ready to listen, but she'll know someone sees her. This is Below the Circle with Dr. Phyllis. I love you. Thanks for joining me today. And remember, stop circling, start landing. I'll see you next week.